What's up, degenerates? As we move closer to the weekend, we have our good friend Nigel 𝗙𝗍 back to give us his expert analysis on round number 1 of the Euros. So heading into Friday night, we have Turkey versus Italy. Any opinions, and is it as wide as the bookies have it? I think Italy around the 1-2 favourite.
I think Italy will probably win, Paddy, but would I bet them at 1-2? The answer to that question is certainly no. The one thing we're going to have, I think we'd have a lot of close matches in the group stages, a lot of very close matches. And I think the first game of European Championships, the first game of World Cups, the openers are usually very, very low scoring, with two sides very nervous, not worried, not want to make a mistake, and nobody wants to lose their opening game. So I think this will be a similar kind of thing we see to that. Italy are in some tremendous form under 𝗵𝗺𝗺𝗀𝗃 𝗍𝗂, former Manchester City manager. I think they're unbeaten in 27 matches, but actually who have they played? They've only probably played Portugal and Holland are the top teams in European football. So their form is a little bit questionable. And if you look at Turkey, they've improved massively in the last year. But this is the first game in the World Cup, the European Championship. So my tactic here is to tread with caution. I think Italy will probably win it. I do think under 2.5 goals is a realistic runner. But I think probably the best way to bet it would be Italy to win 1-0 or 2-0. You can bet Italy 1-0 at 11-2. You can bet Italy 2-0 at 9-2. Their defence is rock solid, marshalled by Chiellini and Bonucci, the two best centre-halves for them, being their linchpin for years and years and years at Juventus and Italy. And I think that this will be a low-scoring game. Italy will probably come through, but it might be at half-time. It might be 0-0. But I'm going to go for Italy to come through 1-0 or 2-0. Maybe draw half-time, Italy full-time as well.
Nice. And then as we head in to Saturday, we have 3 games. The earliest, which is Wales versus Switzerland. Then we have Denmark at 5 o'clock. To Finland, and Belgium versus Russia, the late evening game kicking off at 8 o'clock. Any of those worth a bet? Some of them 6-5 Switzerland. I think Denmark are short 4-9 with Finland, and Belgium 8-13 with Russia at 4-1. So anything, a little bit of value around them matches?
Well, there's a couple of things you've got to do. I mean, obviously those prices are very short, and they're probably not the kind of odds that sort of recreational bettors want to be betting, taking teams at 4-9. You might want to put some accumulators in. But I mean, the best way to play it is, this is the way I would play it. Wales are playing Switzerland. It's the same group as Italy v Turkey. With games against Italy in Rome, neither side will want to lose this game. This is really, really a must-no-lose result. Both sides will set their tactics out on that matter. And I think it'll be very low scoring and chances very few and far between. Wales have just got Aron Ramsey and Garth Bale. The rest of the team, the rest of the squad is pretty poor, made up of a lot of teams in the lower levels of English football. And Switzerland's strength is in their defence and their goalkeeper. Their goalkeeper, Sommer, is one of the best goalkeepers in European football. So I think this is going to be very close. I wouldn't be surprised to see us being a 0-0. But if you do bet the 0-0, make sure you bet no goal scorer, because if it's an own goal, you'll get paid out on no goal score. And obviously, if it's an own goal, the correct score will be 1-0. So no goal score could be an angle here. But definitely under goals. I've actually bet under 1.5 goals in that game at 7-4. 1 goal, I think, will be enough to win it. Going into Group B, the 2 games on Saturday, they're Denmark against Finland. Denmark are my fancy to do well at this competition, and they're my best bet this set of fixtures. And it's not them to win. I know that they probably will win, but again, it's a very short price. But you can bet Denmark to win to 0 at even money, which means as long as Denmark win and Finland don't score 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0 Denmark, you will win money. And Finland are very negative. I bet them to be the lowest scoring team in the tournament at 7-1. And the reason I did that was because their main outlet for their goals is Norwich striker 𝗵𝗺𝗺𝗃, and he's got a ligament problem. Now, if he doesn't play, where are the goals going to come from? I just can't see how Finland are going to score. But if he does play, I think he's probably about 60%, 70% of his capability. And I think that's a big danger. So I expect Denmark to win to 0. Belgium, Russia. Belgium should win, and they probably will win. Russia are an aging team. They haven't really got any young players coming through since the World Cup in 2018, and I think they'll be found out this tournament. The trouble with Belgium is Kevin De Bruyne is a doubt. He got injured in the Champions League final. If he doesn't play, that's a big doubt. Yeah, and obviously Eden Hazard hasn't played any football at all. He's returned from international stage in a friendly last week It's the first time he's played since 2019 for Belgium. So that's a concern for me. But they will win. I wouldn't bet them at the odds, but I think Lukaku to score at any time, or Lukaku to score the first goal, because he's key, influential in all the goals and everything that Belgium do positively, and he takes penalties. And I think we might see a few penalties. So Belgium will win, but I think the best angle is getting Lukaku to score the first goal.
Cool. And then we move into Sunday, Nigel, and we have obviously Austria versus North Macedonia. But is it all hype, or are the English going to be cherry ripe? So what are you thinking? Are you confident for a kickoff against Croatia? I think you are 4-6, Croatia around 4-1. What is the vibe in the country right now, and how, you know, at the prices? What are you thinking?
I think the vibe is that England will do well, and I believe England will do well. I think they get to a quarter-final, semi-finals potentially, but I'm not necessarily going to bet them at 4-6 to win this game. Croatia have always done well against England. I mean, they beat them in the World Cup semi-finals. Gareth Southgate got his tactics totally wrong. Didn't put anybody on Rakitic and Modric to dominate the midfield. Very different England team now, though. Very, very different to what it was there. A lot more flair players. And England have the players to come off the bench and change the game around, change their fortunes around. Croatia also beat England when Steve McLaren was bidding to get into the World Cup, and it was the Wally with the Brolly, which they lost. They lost that game as well. So Croatia will relish the opportunity, a proud nation, and they'll come in with a good go. I think England going forward are probably behind the French, the second best team in the tournament with their attacking ability. But defensively, they're in the bottom 10 for me. I don't rate them. Mings as a central back, I think he's only in there because he's left-footed, but I think he's very poor. And I also think the goalkeeper is big question marks over the goalkeeper at the international stage. So I think if you're going to have a bet on this one, bet both teams to score. I know the Irish won't be betting England at 4-6 to win the match if they don't want us to win. But
like I said, they don't mind the money. They'll back a winner no matter what it is. As I said, yeah, if it's 𝗂𝗃𝗃 they'll back them if they're going to win.
But I don't fancy 𝗂𝗃𝗃 this week, but I do think goals. I do think goals.
I don't even know if there is a place. I know there's somewhere like it could be in there.
𝗂𝗃𝗃 are playing Gibraltar reserves.
There you go. Hey, it shows your knowledge on the football. We're good. All right. Hey, if you know when them games are on, we're listening.
But I think goals. I think England games will score goals. I think they'll give away goals, but they've got the ability to score goals. So I think both teams to score in the England-Croatia game is a nice play.
Yeah. What about North Macedonia? Will they struggle against Austria? Austria, short, 8-15, but very, very short. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think that North Macedonia will come in full of confidence. I mean, they've got to the finals of a major tournament for the first time in their history. They're a proud nation. They come in on a massive high after beating Germany in World Cup qualification, the biggest result they've ever had. And that must give us some confidence. I saw Austria play England in a friendly. Admittedly, it was in a friendly, but they were very poor. They offered no real attacking threat. I'd expect this to be low scoring again. I would expect Austria to probably edge it 1-0, but really I probably wouldn't have a wager on it. The other game in that group is the Netherlands against Ukraine. That is on Sunday night, 8 o'clock. That's another one I think goals will be on the cards. The Netherlands, I think, are a side that will struggle if they get to the latter stage. I think the manager, Frank de Boer, is out of his depth. I think he was terrible at Crystal Palace as a manager. And I think once he gets to the business end, he's going to get found out. But the Ukraine will surprise many. They've got a lot of youngsters, a lot of goals in that side. And the Ukraine and Netherlands could be an entertaining one. I think both teams are scoring that. Maybe a little double for Sunday. Both teams to score Netherlands, Ukraine, yes. And both teams to score England, Croatia as a yes as well.
Right, lovely. And then we'll move on to Monday. Quick, Nigel, if you don't mind, give us a little insight. We haven't got many prices available for this yet. Scotland versus Czech Republic, kicking it off early. We have Poland versus Slovakia and Spain versus Sweden. What are you thinking?
I think that Scotland will surprise many. I think they'll qualify. With 3 places, I think they'll qualify. I think Czech Republic, they beat Czech Republic in the World Cup qualification at Hampden Park, and they play them at Hampden Park. They're a decent price, I think, Scotland, to get something from it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was a draw. You can bet on the draw no bet market with bookies, which means if it's a draw, you get your money back as a push. And I think get Scotland on the draw no bet could be the way to go, because or if you're on the betting exchanges, I would lay Czech Republic. I don't really rate the Czech Republic. And also, so I think Scotland gets something from that one. In Group E, Slovakia, another side I'm massively against in everything. I bet them to be the lowest scoring side as well at 9-1. I think on the shots on target they've had and the goals opportunities they've had in qualification is very, very low. And I think Poland will win that. They've got Robert Lewandowski, in my opinion, is the best centre forward in the tournament. Apart from that, they haven't really else got much as a team, but they have him as a threat. And I think the Bayern Munich man will be the difference in this game. And I expect Poland to win probably to 1-2-0. I don't think Slovakia will offer anything. And Spain, Sweden. Spain have got big problems. They had a COVID outbreak at the squad. A lot of the players in self-isolation. Their captain got it as well. Got it. So I think it's a bit of a problem for them. But on the positive for Spanish bettors, which I'm a Spanish backer as well, is that they're playing in Seville. I know it's an evening kickoff, but it'll be very, very hot. You know, I've lived in the south of Spain, and it's in the middle of June. It's going to be very, very hot. And Seville is probably, arguably, one of the hottest parts of Spain on the whole of geographically. So I think that's going to be very, very hard for Sweden. And I think they'll run out of legs eventually. So on that game, I think it might be very close in the first 45 minutes. But as the heat becomes a factor and the humidity kicks in, which it will still be hot at 10 o'clock at night, I'm going to go for Spain to edge it. So we're going to go for draw half-time, Spain full-time.
Lovely. Cheers. Really nice to hear your opinions. And I'm sure the degenerates will be soaking it up like a sponge, as always, to have your expertise on the channel. Nigel, tell all the degenerates at Coldbeer Sports where they can find you. Throw us out your social medias and website and all that cool stuff.
Yeah, I'm only really on Twitter. If you've got Twitter, I've got at @𝗙𝗍_Nigel. You can follow me on there. I tweet all about betting, football, golf and tennis. It's all I ever tweet about. So I'm on there. And if you want to follow my website, I offer a tipping website, which we've been very successful over the last 3 or 4 years. But I've done it professionally for more or less 18 years now. So it's not something that's new to me. And you can follow it at premiersportsplays.com. That's my website, but it's mainly American focus. I do a lot of work in America, but always happy to help out on Coldbeer Sports, my old mate, whatever you call them. I'm looking forward to the tournament, mate.
Well, we appreciate here, and I speak on behalf of this community of degenerates. Nigel, before I let you go, wrap it up for me there, your top 3 bets of the round 1. Let us have it.
Okay, well, the top 3 from that game. Well, I would go Denmark and Finland. Denmark to win to 0. I think that's my best bet of the opening game.
What price is that around, Nigel?
That's even money. 𝗵𝗺 𝗃𝗃 doesn't play. Yeah, if 𝗵𝗺 𝗃𝗃 doesn't play, or he's carrying injury with a ligament problem, that spells big trouble for Finland and takes away all their goal threat. So Denmark to win to 0 evens is my best bet. I will go under 1.5 goals in Wales v Switzerland at 7-4. I think that will be probably a 0-0 or 1-0 either way. I think that's very, very low scoring. And my final bet would be England, Croatia, both teams to score as a yes.
Cool, that's deadly right. I'll put all Nigel's others in the description below, so make sure and check out that. We'll have the details of his Twitter handle and website and all that other cool stuff. Nigel 𝗙𝗍, as always, we appreciate your expertise here at Coldbeer Sports.
Take care, Paddy. Have a good weekend, mate.
Cheers, amigo.